What's going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of the RPO College Football Podcast. I'm your host, Jerome Jones. As you might have seen, my twin brother was on the Air It Out podcast, but we here right now talking about college football, and I'm here with my guy, the man, the myth, the legend. You already know who he is, Mister Ray Roberts. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, Jerome. How are you?
I'm great, man. I'm great. Great always seeing you, man. Looking good with the new specs. I see you. You look like you got a little haircut going on too. All
I
right,
definitely got my haircut for sure.
nice,
It's
nice.
pretty wild. So, yeah.
Looking sharp, ready for the holidays. I'm guessing.
I am ready.
Nice,
Absolutely.
nice.
Yep.
Awesome, man. That's great. Well, we're gonna get right into it because y'all was watching the Air It Out podcast, and we got a double decker today, and we want to get to those NFL games, so we're not gonna do y'all wrong. We did have to switch from Wednesday to Thursday this week, which is fine. But we glad to have you guys in here. But whoever is in here, thank you. We do see some people that are in here. This is a live podcast, so if you want to put your comments at the bottom, we will put them on the screen, and then we will answer anything that you guys say. But as always, we have our own topics into that. So the first topic we're gonna get into is Heisman, because Mr. Caleb Williams won the Heisman recently. I think it was last Saturday. I want to know what you feel, how you feel about the win. Some people say, yeah, that was a landslide win. Some people say, it was closer than you think. Ray, what's your initial thought on this whole Heisman as itself?
Well, that I would have voted for Williams myself first and foremost.
Mm-hmm.
It really wasn't close at all. I mean, Caleb Williams got 554 votes, and the next guy got 188. So that's a pretty big discrepancy. So
yeah. I personally don't agree with the votes. I agree with the win. I don't agree with the votes. I think C.J. Stroud still played very well until he played Michigan. And he had one less game too. He had some struggles, which every quarterback did. And even Williams, he had struggles, especially in the first half of the season. He warmed up in the end. And I think that's what we all kind of remember. But I mean, I think both quarterbacks should have been in there. Now the other two guys,
Stroud didn't finish second; he finished third.
He did?
He finished third.
I didn't even realize that. Wow.
Max Duggan finished second. Stroud only got 37 first-place votes.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Losing, I guess that's what losing do to you, man.
Well, I mean, it's like you said, though, Jerome, it's like the last thing you see.
Yeah.
Well, Caleb Williams basically carry USC's offense, do a great job. And I mean, like, Heisman is a little bit of a popularity contest, So.
And it's starting to become such a quarterback-driven thing because and I was talking to Avery about this off screen before our Ariel podcast. Is that I think that Blake Corum still should have been in the conversation because I feel like this is one of our weaker Heisman votes this year anyway. And just because Blake Corum got injured and he did miss 2 games and tried to play in the Ohio State game. But I think that shouldn't hurt him because he had better stats than the last 2 Heisman running back Heisman winners, Derrick Henry and Max. I keep saying Max. I don't know why. Mark Ingram, the last 2. And I think it's, he got injured. He had better stats than the last 2 running backs. I just think it's a little weird that he didn't even get in the Heisman finalists. I think that, obviously, he wasn't going to win it. I didn't think he's going to win it. I mean, I think Caleb Williams was going to be the clear-cut guy either way. But just the fact that, maybe it's just me not being a huge Stidham fan. I'm not Stidham. Georgia's quarterback. I'm not a big fan of his.
Oh, Stetson Bennett. He stinks.
Stetson Bennett, yeah. And he got in the body. I mean, if you're gonna put him in, I'd rather you have Blake Corum.
No, I agree with you. You got to remember it's a passing league.
Yeah,
the Heisman has always been a quarterback-driven contest. Now that the leagues is all about throwing the ball,
yeah,
it makes more sense that they're going to be like you mentioned 2 Heisman trophies. Like that's 2 running backs in the last 15 years that have won the Heisman. So it's not like when I was a kid, you had like Earl Campbell and Billy Sims, and even before that, like
dominated.
yeah, I mean, but they were running legs then.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody ran the ball back then, so I mean that's why that's the big difference.
I'm still crying that we can't get a defensive player in there, man. It's so hard to get one in there. The last one was my boy. It's like,
I mean, well, again, we already know that line play is the most important thing in football,
correct.
period. But
Correct.
how often do them guys get the credit they deserve?
Heisman
Even
and NFL MVP is all quarterback. It doesn't always agree with it, but it's just the way it is. And I totally agree
it
with that.
is, and again, it's a throwing driven sport right now. I mean, everybody wants to throw the ball 70 times a game, 60 times a game. So it's going to be dominated
That
by
would
that
be
position.
fun to see like a dominant defensive player just get it, man. But like we would need somebody to just absolutely crush all records, which is very hard to do just to get in a Heisman talk. So it's like,
I mean, what number are you going to give the defensive player? Unless it's a guy even like Charles Woodson won the Heisman, but Charles Woodson played some wide receiver, and he was probably the best defensive player in college football.
he did.
So, but if you look at the other dominant players in college football, they're mostly defensive linemen.
There was a couple of years that Aaron Donald probably should have, honestly. But I digress.
Again, what number are you going to use to give him the award, especially in college?
Oh no, not when he was in college, but when he's in NFL. Yeah, there was a couple of times.
I would never call the Heisman Trophy a joke, though. That's a little disrespectful. It's a little disrespectful.
Oh man, Remy, he's coming at you, man. Oh, it's Avery. Oh, I'm sorry, Avery. What's up, man? Yay, can you put your name on there, man? Come on, you know how to do that.
I'm not coming at anybody. I just think I'm not saying I completely disagree with it, but I don't. To call it a joke or, I mean, it's still an award that every college player would like to win, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
I agree.
I mean, again, when I was a kid, it was more 50-50. You see running backs win it, every other year or so. Defensive players have never won the Heisman. It's just not how it's not how it's done.
Yeah.
I mean, like, again, unless you what number are you going to use to give it to a defensive player? Sacks.
Avery say it's a quarterback award. Sometimes a running back run through. He's tired of it, and he said the Heisman is joke, but I like to see a true player and MVP college get it. I agree. I mean, maybe I don't know. It's it's hard to even say like let's just do MVP because then it'll be like if we have a separate Heisman and then MVP, then
Well,
you'll have quarterback go in that one too. Like
USC went from a 500 team to a conference championship team, a team that was in the playoff mix. So, is there anything more important than what Caleb Williams did for them this year?
Yeah, I agree with that. Remy's the one that said, Remy's in here. What's up, Remy? You got Avery and Remy. You guys need to put your names on here. They're both in here, but Remy was the one that said the Heisman is a joke.
I mean, the call it a joke is a little strong.
That was his to lose. I mean, yeah. I mean, I get what you're saying, Remy. I think that is Remy. That is Remy. I get what you're saying with the CJ Stroud, but like I'm the big proponent of like, especially with these kind of work. Like, if you're gonna do that for rankings, it makes sense. Like, all right, you lost a game, pick your ranking, but like when it comes to Heisman and stuff like that, like, dude, TCU has something to say about that. Michigan running back too. Remy, before you got on here, I was definitely talking about. I'm sorry, that was you guys confusing me. Avery, I was thinking about that too. I was saying that too. Blake Corum probably should have been in at least in the top 4 for the Heisman race, but I guess I get it when he got injured. But
I would have put him in there before I put Stetson Bennett in there. If you're going to use that,
Strange blew it. He made for. Oh man, funny way to talk about your own team, man. You're funny, but I get it too. Don, what's going on? He said, I have a question. How good can you see Colorado being in the first year in the Pac-12? It's gonna
I
be
would.
interesting because like it's hard for me to say right now because one, there's a lot of players about to get transferred over there. So I mean, hey Don, if you could run this back around like a month or two just to see how the transfer portal kind of shakes up because it's about to get crazy real soon. I mean, we got the signings about to come up. There's about to be a lot of transfer portal stuff going on. I would wait to see how that affects first, but I agree it is gonna affect it. Can't wait to hear Ray's rant today's. I've been missing y'all. I miss you too, Don. Appreciate you being here again. I have no problem considering criticizing my own teams. That being fair, prime effect. No, I agree with you, Remy. And I do appreciate you being real. And yes, Avery, it is the prime effect. So that's why I'm saying let's wait and see how this kind of unfolds because
Mhm.
you still got to see where Travis Hunter actually go. I'm like 99% sure he's gonna go back with prime and then see whoever he gets. He's already getting some guys already, so I just want to hold out and see how the transfer portal kind of works and who he gets and things like that. And is he going to stick with his son as a quarterback? That's another big factor into it. So I think I want to wait with that one.
You know that's going to happen. That's a
Yeah,
definite. That's
yeah, yeah.
that's a definite.
I mean, I don't want to like say he's not going to be good because you never know too.
He was
Uh,
very productive where he played
but
this year.
But now you're in the big leagues, and if you have a quarterback that's willing to play for you and he's gonna be better, like Dion, I know you did this to help your son, but at the same time, like you gotta play your best players. You get what I'm saying? So I
If
mean
that's,
that I think that's more interesting than thinking about if they're gonna be good or not. I mean, let's just say like,
I mean, well, if his son is not good enough to beat up the quarterback, then he'll probably find him.
ooh, if Trey
Well,
Sanders go to Colorado, that's a big pickup, huge pickup. Don't say I agree.
yeah,
That's a huge pickup if they get Trey Sanders. That's
yeah.
crazy. Yeah. All right. Let's get to our next topic because we're just talking about transfer portal and why not continue on that trend right now. Grayson McCall, as you know, which has been Coastal Carolina's quarterback since he was a freshman, playing very well. One of the guys that really got Coastal Carolina on the map. Had them, ranked the last 3 years and things like that. He's transferring. He's leaving CCU for another team, not to be announced yet. But Ray, I want to know what's your thought on him transferring? Is it a good idea? And then two, what team do you think he can fit at?
Well, he's already looking at Auburn. I know that for a fact.
I've seen that too.
I mean, LSU is probably right around the corner. I don't. Well, I'm not a fan of the portal, so I don't have a strong opinion one way or the other. But I think, again, everybody's subjective now. They can just do whatever they want, so it don't matter. So I don't like it, but I don't have to like it apparently. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the transfer portal because it's so fluent. Like, it's just like you can just go whenever you want. Like, I like the idea of it, like, especially if it's a kid that either one, don't like the school, maybe having issues at the school or whatever. Um, maybe issues with some of the coaching staff or whatever. I'm okay with in that sense, but like just to have it like a free for all kind of thing with no type of penalty or anything like that, like they used to have. I think it's just getting a little too ridiculous. That, like you say, just our opinion, just our opinion. But him coming out of Coastal Carolina, I think it can be a good thing and a bad thing. For two reasons. One, he was injured most of this year, but if he can continue to play well, he's still like before the season started, he's still considered one of the top quarterbacks that could have got drafted this year. Even still being at Coastal Carolina. So if I feel like if you was already on that trend and you're leaving and you go to a bigger school and don't play well, you can really really hurt your stock.
you
Really hurt
can.
your stock. And I don't like it in that sense because he was already on NFL coaches radar as it was. Even if he wasn't a first round pick, he still could have been a second, maybe even third round pick, which is still really good. And let him come in and develop behind a established quarterback. Now, if he goes to a bigger school, which like you said, Ray, it's sounding like he might lean toward Auburn. Will they? Will he make? Will it make him better? Will he be better? Will the team be better with him there? And if that happens and he does it, great. He's probably going to be a first round pick next year. But if that doesn't happen, he's going to fall hard, kind of like Brock Purdy.
You just said it yourself, though, Jerome. Like right now, he's a second or third round pick. If he goes to the SEC and he competes at a high level, he's a first round pick.
Correct. I agree.
So, I mean, is it worth a shot? If you're a confident player, you think it's worth a shot. Why wouldn't you?
Smart. Trevor is going to hurt the NCAA football in the long run. These teams don't stay together long enough to finish things out. And I think Don, you made a good point on the fact that it's not going to last in the sense that these players keep moving around. How are you supposed to establish stability if you keep moving around?
Because if it's always going to be the best teams are the best teams anyway, so it doesn't matter really that much.
Yeah. How do you feel about these players setting up bowl games? And didn't happen 10 years ago. I'm mixed on it. I'm more leaning. I'm more leaning toward being loyal to your team, especially especially if you're like a team that's been playing pretty well and you just happen to not make the playoffs. But in the other sense, I get it. Like, dude, if you get injured, you're gonna hurt your stock so badly. This is probably a topic that we can probably use later on because we probably can talk about this later on. But I'm not gonna go too deep into it. But Ray, your quick thoughts on that?
I think that we've seen where we've had enough guys have bad injuries in their last game. Jalen Smith from Notre Dame, McGahee from Miami, where these guys really, really hurt themselves in the draft prospect. So I hate it, but I understand why they do it. So I'm not going to – yeah, man, they're making business decisions, and they're real business decisions. We're not talking about, like, just skipping a game. Like, I wonder if it were like a guy in a play, like playing for a championship, if they would just skip out then it would truly bother me because
that would exactly
Notre Dame's like their best player on defense, Foskey, and their best player on offense, Michael Mayer. Neither one of them playing in the bowl game. Correct. So I hate it, but I understand. Like these guys are literally making business decisions where they don't want to hurt their draft stock. I mean, I got it. So
I think that if you're in the first two rounds, if you're projected to be in the first two rounds, 100% get it. If you're like 3 and down, play that last game. Help your stock. Be competitive. Go to the Senior Bowl. Go to the East West Shrine game. Sow as much tape as you can, so you can maybe get higher in the rankings and more eyes on you and stuff like that.
Agreed. I mean, like
you're opting out just to be like, oh, I'm going to the NFL, but you don't know where you're going to be drafted in the NFL. Like, are you really helping yourself?
No, I agree with you, Jerome. I think if you can improve your draft stock by playing in that game, you should play. But even for the two guys I just mentioned from Notre Dame, them guys are not going to help themselves playing against South Carolina. They're just not. So Michael Mayer is a top 15 player right now. Mm-hmm. If he gets hurt, then what is he? To me, he's the best tight end in college football. But some people may think that it's like the kid from Georgia. It's neither here nor there. These guys are what they are. Michael Mayer is going to be a stud in the NFL. So I understand that he's making the business decision. Again, I just hope that if Notre Dame were playing for a national title, he wouldn't just bail out then, which I don't think he would. But again, that's to me is the big test. Like, are these guys going to do the same? This even if they are playing, if they're a top 8 team or top 4 team, top 12 team, that's another subject for another day.
You're just talking about that.
Yeah. But I mean, I understand why they're doing it, but I don't have to like it. There's a lot of things about college football I don't like right now, but it's still college football, so I got to deal with it. So
Definitely. No, yeah, it's a lot of things we don't like, but there's a lot of things we do like, and that is the actual game. So, with
correct.
that being said, let's talk about some game predictions. Ray, so let's start off. So, just as a disclaimer, guys, we're not going to go to every bowl game. We're gonna go as the week goes. So, whenever we have our podcast, we're gonna talk about the games prior to that podcast or after our podcast rather, and to the next one. So for this one, we only got a few, so we're gonna kind of like blaze through this real quick. And we're not gonna talk even with the ones that are playing. We're not gonna talk about everyone because some of them are like really lopsided. So we're gonna try to get to some of the closer ones. So first and foremost, let's talk about number 24 versus number 25. Troy versus UTSA. Troy is favored at home. I'm sorry, TC TCSA is favored away. Away, quote unquote. The sites. Ray, who you got in that one?
I'm going to take UTSA.
Okay. I'm going the same way. I think UTSA is a better team than Troy. Troy is good, but like UTSA is a better team. And Don is almost saying exactly what I'm saying. He loves UTSA. Troy has defense, but not the offense to match, and I agree with that.
Agreed.
I agree with that. So yeah, definitely on the same page as you, Don. Let's go to our next one: Cincy versus Louisville. Louisville is again quote unquote home. They're favored by 2. Who you got in that one?
I'm going to take Cincinnati in that game.
Cincinnati.
And I wish.
Yeah.
Good.
No, the reason why this game is I feel it's closer than we think because they don't have Luke Fickle.
I agree. I was just going to say I wish Fickle was going to be coaching the team still.
Yeah,
but I think they're a better team.
I think so.
I think they're a little better than Louisville. So
there's a reason why they're only 2-point favorite. I mean, I think that man, it's a little hard for me. I'm gonna go the same with you, Ray. I'm gonna go Cincy as well.
yeah,
But it should be a close game. It should be a good game, I think. All right, the next game. So this game is in comparison is not as good, but I just want to put it out there because it's probably one of our better games. Oregon State versus Florida. That's gonna be on Saturday. Oregon State is favored by 10. Ray, who you taking?
taking Oregon State. Yeah.
I am too. I mean, dude, if you've been watching this, and Don says, "Road Runners, baby." If you guys been watching this, I've been on Oregon State all year. I think they deserve this bowl game. They deserve the record they got, which is 9-3. They're a really good team. I like this team. I think they're a building program. It's going to be a program that I think will build on what they had this year and just keep going with it. And I think they one of the teams that could get better and better each year. And they got good coaching staff there too. So he says Oregon State, Florida sucks. Dude, it's the best. It's probably one of the best games this week. I mean, I know what you're saying. I get it, but it's probably one of the better teams. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, I mean, it might be that Cincinnati Louisville game. It might be that one. But like, as far as like high caliber teams, that's probably your best bet. And hope for the best. Let's hope for the best. But that will be in Las Vegas though. The new site of the Raiders and the site of the this year's Super Bowl. So it's gonna be cool to see how that looks there. Yeah. All right, let's get to our next one, which is SMU versus BYU. SMU is favored by 4 in this one. Who you got, Ray?
I'm going to take SMU. That's one of the more tougher games for me to take. But I think SMU, again, offense is a little bit better than BYU's. I think they'll outscore them. I think that'll probably be the deciding factor in the game. So
don't BYU have like some good? I mean, I haven't watched a lot of BYU this year for whatever reason. Don't BYU have a strong running game though?
They do have a good running game, but again, I think that's where running game does not always translate into points. That's the problem.
True.
You know.
True. I'm gonna do BYU in this one. Just because I like their running game. The quarterback is not bad. Defense been leaky a lot this year than normal, but I think I'm gonna take BYU
Okay.
in a close one. In a close one. All right, next one we got Toledo versus Liberty. I'm trying to find that one. Toledo.
Toledo is favored by 5. At least that's what I have.
Say again, right?
I have Toledo being favored by 5,
Got you. This one might be on the next page for me, so let me flip over.
which is weird because Toledo, I think they're both
Yeah, there we
similar
go.
teams, but Toledo is
Very similar.
one less win, but they're
Mhm.
favored by 5.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, this is a tough game for me. These two teams I don't watch that often. The obviously Liberty's suffering from not having Malik Willis on the field like last year. He definitely covered up a lot of issues they have. And then you got Toledo, who's already a smaller school. I think this would be a close match. I'm gonna take Toledo too, though.
Yeah,
Um, Simply, I think their defense is a little bit better, so I think they'll hold up better for that one.
agree.
Um, and then last but not least, we got San Diego State. I'm sorry, San Jose State. I always do that. San Jose State versus Eastern Michigan. San Jose State is favored by 3.5. Right here, you got.
I'm going to take San Jose State.
Yeah, I am too. Eastern Michigan haven't. They've never been like a really good team, but like they've had better years, and this is not one of their better years. So I'm going to San Jose State. I always do that.
I
San
would
Jose
take
State,
them because they're again they throw the ball a little bit more
correct.
higher level, so I'll take that. So
Yeah, yeah. So the eye test, I'm doing the same thing. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. It's not some of the better games.
well,
This
this is early on. They usually aren't though.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
it's something. Hey, we got college football, baby. Let's do
Yep.
it. All right. All right. Let's get to our last topic, and this one's a little hard, man. As a lot of you know, Coach Mike Leach passed away this week. I believe he was having respiratory issues, if I'm not mistaken on that. He's been hospitalized for a couple of weeks now. If I'm not mistaken, and I could be wrong, I could have sworn that like he's getting better. They were saying he was doing a lot better than when he got in there, and then suddenly he just passed away. Because it was kind of like off my radar until I heard it happen. So I just want to see. I just want to hear some of your thoughts, Ray, and then tell me some of your favorite like Mike Leach moments because he had a lot of great moments. Great guy, he had some very comedic times, and overall great coach. I want to just kind of hear what you guys say about this whole thing.
I mean, well, that's the thing about Mike Leach. Funny guy, brilliant offensive mind. The air raid offense
Mm-hmm.
studied under Lavelle Edwards from BYU. Was a big fan of the passing game. Again, a great interview. Just a fun-loving guy who really enjoyed what he did. It's a shame. I mean, only 61. I mean, I knew that he was not feeling great, but I didn't expect this either.
Exactly.
But I mean, it's just a shame. The guy's been successful no matter where he's at. He's turned average quarterbacks look good. He's made good quarterbacks look great. I mean, it's a shame. It's just a great, brilliant offensive guy. And just anytime you see a guy, that's not. I mean, I don't want to say he's young. He wasn't young, but he wasn't old as we see today as today is. But it's just a shame, man. I was surprised by it too. I didn't know that he had been taken, to that much for the worse. But again, my first thing is like you said, funny guy,
Mm-hmm.
very good interview. Pretty much a straight kind of told you what it was type of a guy, but a
Yeah.
brilliant offensive mind who really helped the college passing game make strides in the last 15 or 20 years for sure. So
No, and I agree. Yeah, like you say, very, very funny guy. There's countless interviews where he just saying something and just like, what is going on? Like, Very very funny guy. He was in a couple. He was in a recent movie. I forgot exactly what, but it is very sad to see him going. But like he leaves behind some really good coaches under him. I mean, you got I'm looking at it now. We got Neil Brown. We got Kingsbury. You got Lincoln Riley, Ken Wilson. You know, there number of guys. I'm not gonna read them all, but like it's just like the people that he brought under him. You know, and it, none of them had anything bad to say about him, which is
Nah,
you know tells you what kind of guy he was. A
I
really good
mean,
guy,
even
smart guy, and he didn't take life too hard, so like you always wish to have that type of coaching and person around you in general. So RIP to him. Condolences to the family. It was very sudden. Like I said, I wasn't expecting the news. So um condolences to him, condolences to the school, the players that under him, the closest, the people that are grieving right now, just been surrounded by such a good guy. Definitely condolences to that.
I mean,
Um,
it's a shame because a good family guy,
yeah,
married for a long time. Four kids, three daughters, and a son. So I'm sure they're the people that you really feel for when something like this
correct,
happens. So
exactly, definitely, 100%, 100%. All right, last but not least, we're gonna get into. I know it's just tough transition, but we're gonna get into Ray's rants. Look, he got the water getting ready. He already knows. He got his boxing gloves about to get on, man. Ray's rants, as you guys know, one of the fan favorites right here. Let's get into it, Ray. What you got?
okay, well, if you remember a couple months ago or a few months ago now, during the draft, Matt Araiza was drafted, and the punter from San Diego State.
Yeah.
Okay, and we both come on here, and I pretty much went off not on him, but on what he was being alleged to have done.
Mhm.
And I pretty much went on here saying that, guys need to act like guys. They need to treat women with more respect. But I mean, I said a lot of things that I feel very strongly about. So I'm not going to say that I'm sorry that I said them because I'm not. But he was just found innocent of all charges. The DNA and all the fact did not say it
Wow.
said that he was not guilty. So what I'm going to say now is good. I'm glad because we always hoped that this wasn't true,
Hmm.
but something happened to this young lady, and I don't know exactly who did it, or what happened. But here's what I'm going to say now. Instead of I went after the player, and I went after young men to act like young men.
And
Well,
that still
no,
holds. And that still
no,
holds.
no, that's still still do think that men need to respect women more than they do.
Hmm.
I'm never going to change that. Again, we all have mothers. Some of us have sisters, grandmothers, whatever. We need to hold women in high regard. We do. But also, we need women to act like young ladies and not little girls. Okay. So I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to go crazy because I don't know this girl at all.
Hmm.
And I don't know exactly what happened. Something happened, but maybe she was more responsible for it than I knew. Like, and I'm not saying that any woman deserves to ever be abused. I'm not saying that.
Right.
What I'm saying is, if you want to be treated like a young lady, act like a young lady, not like a little girl.
Mhm.
Don't tell guys the wrong age. Don't hang out with guys that are older than you. Act like young women, not little girls. That's all.
Agreed. Agreed. It goes both ways, man. It goes both ways. So yeah, I've been trying to learn to be very careful for situations that is still alleged that there's we don't have full evidence yet, and the legal system hasn't fully get flushed out. So I do be very careful with that, but again, I do agree with exactly what Ray said. I'm glad that he didn't apologize for what he said. I'm because it still holds. We gotta act like men, and we gotta like young men, women. It goes both ways. It's not one sided. And for the women that be claiming guys do things and they know they didn't, that's wrong. And for the guys that actually are doing it, that's also wrong, and that's even worse. So let's please act like young men and act like young women. Understand the situation yourselves getting into, and leave it at that. But that's gonna do it for us. And Don says thank you, and I thank you, appreciate you, Don. Oh, as always, we thank you. We thank Avery. We thank Remy. I'm sorry for forgetting your name for some reason. Um, for getting on. It's gonna be a little bit shorter. We was running a little late with Air Out podcast, but we're gonna run this a little shorter. We're gonna come up next week with a lot more. Hopefully, we'll be back on Wednesday. I think we should be back on Wednesday, and we're gonna just do what we do, man, and have good conversations. Hopefully, we got some better games. We could talk about some of the games next week. We talk about the games coming up for it, and then eventually we'll be talking about the playoffs as well. So again, guys, thank you so much for getting on with us, man. Ray, any last words? Huh?
And the draft.
And the draft, yes, because we're definitely getting in the draft season. We definitely about to talk about a lot about the Senior Bowl. Me and Ray should be going down there. I hope Ray you put your credentials in. But we are definitely going down there to Mobile, Alabama. Will be our 5th year. Super excited about that, and like we got a good little crew going down there this year. So definitely stay tuned. As always, we were gonna have that Senior Bowl podcast, so stay tuned for that. Shout out to our guys, Aerial Podcast. It was a great podcast. I was actually on it, not my twin. I don't have a twin. If you didn't catch that, but that was real fun today. We talked about great stuff. So if you didn't see that, go on our YouTube channel and go check that out. Make sure you go check out our YouTube channel as well. Well, it's the same YouTube channel, but make sure you hit that like and subscribe button so you can know when they're both running and you're able to watch both. Because I do believe they're really good podcasts, especially if you like NFL, if you like college, man, just go there. It's some great stuff to do. Right under Ray's where you can find all our social media.
Right there. I almost there
you go. You got it. You got it. Hit that QR code so you can follow all our social media. Make sure you hit like and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter because we about to hit 5,000. And we're trying to get that before the end of the year. So thank you guys for everybody that is following us and is in here, like our guy Don and everybody else. Like once again, thank you guys so much. We appreciate y'all. We hope y'all have a great holiday season because that's coming up soon. I hope you guys are not like going crazy trying to buy gifts and stuff like that. Take it easy. Maybe don't do it one day and then the next day. Like do it every other day maybe because it is crazy out there. Drive safely because traffic's crazy. I've been seeing a lot of accidents. I've been in an accident myself. So definitely drive safe out there. Be careful with your belongings. Don't keep it in your car. Lock it in there. All that good holiday season kind of stuff. So you don't ruin your holiday, man, because there's a lot of crazy people out there. So just please be careful. Enjoy yourselves and remember what the holiday season is about. It's about family. It's about love. It's about religion. So all about all that stuff like that, and just a reminder of what that is. And it's all about football. So thank you guys so much. We got Saturday football on NFL. I just remember that. That's crazy. That seems so fast. It seems so fast. But that's gonna do it for us again today, guys. I'm Jerome Jones. That is Ray Roberts. Thank you guys so much. We see you on the next one. Enjoy your Thursday night football. Peace.